In a couple weeks, I'm going to be going on a little trip, and as somebody who likes to travel a fair bit, there is nothing worse than getting on your plane, up in the air, reaching into your backpack, only to realize you forgot something incredibly important. So to get ready for my upcoming trip, I went ahead and put together a list of 10 tech-related items that I absolutely recommend you bring with you on your trips. What's up, my dude? Your friendly neighborhood Tony here, and welcome back to the Spare Tech Room, where I try to help you make better tech choices. And to be clear, this list is not an exhaustive list of everything you need to bring with you on your trips. It's just a few things that I think are pretty important. So if there's something that I missed, something that you think people should also consider, definitely let us all know in the comments below. And at the end of this video, I'll even throw in one item that I've heard a lot of people recommending that I feel like is a complete waste of money. So stick around to the end to see that. But for now, let's go ahead and start with the most important thing you could possibly bring with you. And that is a solid travel backpack. Now, in full disclosure, this bag was provided to me by BagSmart for a sponsorship deal, and I haven't fully tested it yet, so stay tuned for my full breakdown and overview of this bag in the future. But regardless of that, you want to make sure that you're getting yourself a backpack that's going to work as a personal item, ideally. Backpacks come in all different shapes and sizes, and a lot of times people like to travel with just a backpack. Now, depending on how long you're gonna be away and where exactly you're going, that may or may not work for you. But what I love about this BagSmart Blast backpack is that it fits the dimensions that a lot of international and domestic airlines use for your personal item bag. So you can still bring your carry-on bag or your check bag if you want to, and then just have this as kind of the maximum sized bag as a personal item. That's how I like to travel. Again, though, if you want to see a full breakdown of this backpack, I'll have a video dedicated directly to that coming out next, so stick around for that. But for now, let's move on to the second very important thing that you should bring with you on your travels. And that is something that I think a lot of people don't really consider. It is a water bottle. And not just any water bottle. What I have here is a Brita filtered water bottle system. So if you're on your flight and you want to fill up at the airport, you can do so there with their purified systems. Or if you're traveling some random foreign country, you have a filter straw built into this bottle. So you can fill up with whatever water they have there, and you're not going to get any weird waterborne illnesses or anything like that. It's got a full filtration system built right into it, just like your Brita pitcher at home. As you might be able to tell, I've had this one for a little while now, and I use it very regularly. Now, of course, if you're not worried about, filtering out any of the bad stuff that might be in your water, any water bottle is going to work. But if you're a little more concerned, a little more health conscious, then you might want to check this one out. Everything I mentioned in this video, I am going to link in the description box below. So if you want to read more information about any of these items, or if you want to pick one up for yourself, go ahead and use those links down there. They are affiliate links, most of them, so that will help out the channel as well at no extra cost to you. So those are the first two things that I recommend you bring with you on your trip. The rest of the list is going to be kind of smaller tech items, and because of that, it's really important that we have some sort of a tech case to keep them all secure and safe inside. And there are plenty of tech cases that you can pick up on the market right now, but what I recommend, especially for travel, is instead of just getting a regular tech case, you get yourself a sling bag. So this will of course double as your tech case to keep all of your items safe and secure, but when you get to your destination, if you want to be able to wander the streets and not have a full-on backpack with you, getting yourself a nice sling is super helpful. I actually did a full review of this one on my channel already, so if you want to see that, I'll link to it up here and at the end of this video. But this is a phenomenal sling. I'm not going to give you all of the detailed information about it in this video. Again, I have a full review for that. But you want to get yourself something that is maybe 3 to 5 liters in size that you can fit all of your little gadgets in, but also isn't going to be super cumbersome when you're walking around. So let's go ahead and crack this open and I'll show you some of the other things that I have in here. All right, first up, one of the most important things that you can bring with you if you are a gadget person, if you're a tech person, is you want to make sure you always have some sort of a power bank available. Whether it's to charge up your phone halfway through the day or any other things that you might have with you, you want to make sure you have a solid power bank. Now, this one here is made by Anker and it is 10,000 milliamps, which is a reasonable size for something like this. I do have larger power banks as well, but those might be a little too clunky to lug around with you. They might weigh a little bit too much. So I definitely recommend getting yourself at least a 10,000 milliamp battery pack. This one here has power delivery, USB-C and USB-A, so it'll plug into pretty much whatever you have. But if you are kind of on the iPhone ecosystem, you may want to consider something like this, which is a MagSafe compatible battery pack. This is also 10,000 milliamps. It's made by a company called Banks, and you can slap this right onto the back of your iPhone and get it charged up in a heartbeat. Now, you can also go through the USB plugs that you have on this device to charge up other items, but if you want something super easy that you can throw onto your iPhone and just kind of lug around like that, this is a fantastic one to have. A lot of these MagSafe style battery packs max out at about 5,000 milliamps, but this one is one of the few ones that I've seen that goes all the way to 10,000 milliamps. So you're gonna be able to get more charges out of it than you would for something smaller. But either way, you want to make sure that you have some battery power readily available with you to take with you on your trips. And that is, I believe, number 4 on our list. Coming in at number 5 is another item that was sent to me. This is by a company called Syntec, and this is a Bluetooth adapter. So if you're on your flight, most of the time they're gonna have some sort of 3.5 millimeter jack that you can plug your headphones into, but most of us nowadays aren't using wired headphones very often. A lot of us are using Bluetooth headphones. And so what this allows you to do is plug into the 3.5 millimeter jack on the back of the seat on the flight and turn this into a transmitter that will send that out over Bluetooth. It's super helpful, really easy to set up, and you can actually hook up multiple headphones to this. You can hook up 2 different headsets at the same time. So if you and your buddy or your partner are watching the same movie together, you can both connect your headphones to this one device. I've tested this one out and it works out phenomenally. It also holds a charge for a really long time, so you should be set on really almost any length of flight. But again, if you want more information, I'll link to this in the description box below. Hey, real quick, before we get to the second half of our list, I want to let you know that on this channel, we recently hit 2,172 subscribers, which is absolutely insane. This is not some big corporation. I'm literally just some dude in his spare bedroom talking about all the gizmos and gadgets he likes. And so the fact that so many people have subscribed is absolutely amazing, and I couldn't be more grateful. I do have a big goal this year of getting to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Now, I don't know if that's possible, but if you're enjoying this video or if you want to help support an independent creator like me, consider subscribing. And if not, if you could at least like this video, that would really help out as well. Either way, whatever you do, I appreciate it. All right, back to the video. Okay, next up on our list is a fun one. This is going to be a small handheld gaming system. Now, of course, you can have your Nintendo Switch if you want to, and they make a ton of different handheld emulation systems that you can bring with you. This one is my personal favorite, specifically when it comes to travel. This is the Anbernic RG35XX I believe is the name of it. It's got a ridiculously long name, and there are a ton of other different models that Anbernic makes. But the reasons why I like this one so much is that it's able to emulate a lot of more modern games, and it's got a super small design that will actually fit into your pocket pretty well, as well as dual analog sticks. So if you're playing a game that requires that, you've got that built in. This one's a lot of fun, especially if you're into playing those retro games that you grew up with. And it's also a great way to just kill a little bit of time if you're waiting in the airport or waiting on a bus or something like that. Of course, as I mentioned, there are a ton of different options when it comes to game emulation and handheld gaming systems. This one's a more budget, smaller model, but there are all different levels of power and performance as well as price when it comes to these kinds of things. So I'll link to a few recommendations in the description box below if you want to check those out. All right, we're getting closer and closer to the end here. Next up on the list, a super important thing to make sure that you have with you anytime you travel. I'm telling you, if you leave the house without these, you are going to be really disappointed, but that is a really good pair of noise canceling earbuds. Now, what I have here are the AirPods Pro 2, but any wireless noise canceling earbuds are going to be great. I did for a while do the over-the-ear headphones when I would travel, but they just felt too bulky and took up too much space in my bags. And really the noise canceling ability of these smaller earbuds nowadays has gotten so much better. Now, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, you might want to consider the AirPod Pros. There's also the new Beats that just came out a couple weeks ago maybe that have the over-the-ear hook, so they stay attached to your ears a lot better than the AirPod Pros. I actually might be switching over to those myself just because I have a hard time keeping earbuds in my ear when I'm moving about. Either way, absolutely make sure that you have a solid pair of noise canceling earbuds anytime you're traveling. Okay, next up on the list is something that's incredibly important, especially and particularly if you're traveling internationally. Now, even if you're traveling domestically, you do want to make sure that you have some sort of a power brick to kind of plug all your stuff in, keep it all charged up. But if you're going overseas at all, then you're going to want something like this, which is an outlet adapter that works with really all different other country adapters. So the one I have here is made by a company called Epica, not a super known company, but I picked this up on Amazon and it has been absolutely phenomenal. On the front here, you're able to plug in whatever plugs you have. So if you're in the United States like I am, you have the ability to hook up your standard plugs into that. or if you're in Europe or Asia or anywhere else, you have all the different options here at the very front to plug your devices into. Also, on the bottom of it, you have several USB plugs. So if you want to plug USB directly into this, you can do that as well. There's 4 different outlets or inlets right there. Then along the side, you have these different switches that you can push out, and that's going to show you the different options for whatever country you might be in. So I think this one here is European, I want to say. Then you have this, which is the UK. And at the very bottom, you have USA and Australia, which you can turn these to get whichever one you need. Oh, there's also a USB-C plug on the side here as well. So you've got the 4 USB-A and 1 USB-C. And then on the opposite side, there's a little button that you press. When you depress that, you're able to slide the plugs back into place. But this is super compact, super easy to carry with you, and vital, absolutely vital if you're going anywhere international. You do not want to be stuck in another country with no adapter and unable to charge your phone or whatever other devices you have. Another item I absolutely love to bring with me everywhere I go is a small, compact travel camera. What I have here is the Fujifilm X-M5, which is, I believe, to be the smallest APS-C camera that you can get on the market. Now, I've kind of decked mine out a little bit. I've got a little shutter release button on here, and I've got an extra grip with a base plate, and the kit lens, which is a 15 to 45 kit lens. That would be the equivalent of 23 or 24 millimeter to 68, something like that. So a solid standard zoom length. I really love this camera. I've been using it for the past month or 2 now, and it has been fantastic. And there's just something special about taking a photo on a dedicated camera as opposed to just busting your phone out. Don't get me wrong, I use my phone plenty for photos and things like that, but this has just an entirely different feel to it. And of course, with Fujifilm, you have all the different film simulations, so you can take pictures with these different film stock styles. It's just all around really great. Now, I will tell you, the battery life on the X-M5 is not great, so you want to make sure that you're getting yourself a couple extra batteries. This right here is the Wasabi Power spare batteries and charger, but it's super small and easy to kind of throw into your bag and just have a couple extra batteries for day to day. So if you're into photography, if you want to capture those memories, get yourself a small, inexpensive, compact camera that you can bring around with you. Okay, and last up on the list is another thing that is very important to bring with you wherever you go, and that is either a tablet or a laptop. So what I have here are a couple of things. I have, of course, my MacBook Air, which is kind of the ultimate travel laptop. This is the MacBook Air M1. So I've had it for a few years, and I gotta be honest, it still absolutely crushes anything you can possibly want to do with it. You know, unless you're doing some crazy, powerful, high-end gaming or, 6 or 8K video editing, this is gonna do everything you need it to do. And especially right now with the new M4 MacBook Airs coming out, the M1s are all on crazy sale, so you can pick one up for super cheap. I'll try to find the best deals that I can find in the description box below, but I love my MacBook Air. I will not be getting rid of this anytime soon. Even if I do upgrade, I'll probably just give this to my girlfriend. So make sure you have yourself a laptop if you're gonna need it. If you don't though, not everybody needs to bring a laptop with them. If not, just get yourself a solid tablet. So what I have here is the Lenovo Legion Y700, which originally was only available internationally, so not in the States, but now Lenovo is bringing it to the States. They're calling it the Tab 3, so I think it's the Lenovo Legion Tab 3, and this is a phenomenal tablet, especially for portability, but even more so for gaming. I set up a ton of different emulators on here, and this will play everything up to and including PlayStation 2, GameCube, some Nintendo Switch as well. It's kind of the ultimate small, compact gaming tablet. So much so that I bought this here, which is the Absolute S9. I think it's the S9. It's a telescoping gaming controller. So you can pretty much throw your tablet right into here and you have a full-on gaming setup ready to rock. I also did a couple videos on this tablet, so if you want to check those out, I'll link to them as well down below. It's absolutely phenomenal, and I can't recommend it highly enough. Okay, so at the beginning of the video, I mentioned that there was one item that I've seen a lot of people recommending that I really think you don't need at all, and that is a luggage scale. You've probably seen these. They're these small devices that you can hang your bags from, and it tells you how much the bag weighs. And to me, it feels like a complete waste of money, so I am not recommending that in this video. If you want to know how much your bag weighs, just weigh yourself, then weigh yourself holding the bag, and do a little subtraction. It's not that difficult. So there you have it. Those are my top 10 must-have travel essentials. If you've got a big trip coming up, I really hope this video helped you out. Links for everything I mentioned are going to be listed in the description box below. If you do use those links, again, it helps out the channel and I really appreciate it. If you found this video useful, do me a solid and drop a like on it and consider subscribing for more content just like this. And let me know, did I miss anything? What are some items that you absolutely must bring with you when you go traveling? Let me know down in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you next time in the Spare Tech Room. Be good.